Your morning routine is training your brain to fail before lunch. Every single day, in the first 60 minutes after your eyes open, you're running a sequence of micro decisions that lock your mental operating speed for the next 16 hours. Most of those decisions feel invisible. By the end of this, you'll see every one of them, and you'll know exactly which ones to change. Think about yesterday morning. The alarm went off. What happened in the next 5 seconds? If you reached for your phone, you already handed control of your attention to whoever posted last. Your thumb scrolled before your conscious mind even finished booting up. That reflex has a cost, and the cost compounds hourly. Your brain wakes up in a specific sequence. The first stage is a slow transition from sleep-wave activity into alert-focused processing. During that window, roughly the first 20 to 90 minutes, your mind is unusually receptive to whatever pattern you feed it. Feed it fragmented, rapid-fire information from a screen, and you're training it to stay shallow. Feed it a single focused task, and you prime it for depth. The same brain. The same morning. Wildly different outcomes by noon. A Stanford researcher named Andrew Huberman has talked extensively about how light exposure in the first hour shapes your circadian rhythm for the rest of the day. Get sunlight in your eyes early, and your body sets a clean hormonal clock. Stay in a dim room staring at a backlit screen, and that clock drifts. The drift is subtle. You feel it around 2 p.m. when your focus crumbles and you blame lunch. But the light is only one piece. The bigger lever is what you ask your brain to do first. Craig, a software developer from Austin, spent 3 years starting every morning by checking Slack messages in bed. His reasoning made sense. He wanted to know if anything urgent happened overnight. The habit felt responsible. What he measured, though, told a different story. He tracked his deep work output for 6 months using a simple spreadsheet. Hours of focused coding per day. The number averaged about 90 minutes. 90 minutes of real, concentrated work in an 8-hour day. The rest was shallow. Meetings, email threads, context switching between tabs. Then he ran an experiment. For 30 days, he kept his phone in another room until after his first focused work session. He'd wake up, drink water, sit at his desk, and write code for 45 minutes before touching any communication tool. His deep work average climbed to 3 hours and 10 minutes. Same person, same job, same brain. The only variable was the first hour. So, why does this work? Your willpower operates like a budget. Each decision you make, each temptation you resist, each context switch you manage, all of it draws from the same account. By afternoon, the account is low. You've spent it on small, forgettable choices. All morning, the emails you debated answering, the notifications you half-read, the social media post that made you feel behind. Each one withdrew from the budget without producing anything. When you protect the first hour, you're spending your richest cognitive resources on your highest value work. The math is simple. Your sharpest thinking happens early. Your most important work requires sharp thinking. Putting those two together should be obvious, yet almost everyone does the opposite. They spend their peak hours on their lowest value tasks. There's a reason for that though, and it goes deeper than laziness. Checking messages first thing feels productive. You're responding, you're staying on top of things, you're being responsible. That feeling is a trap. Responsiveness mimics productivity. The way sugar mimics nutrition. Quick energy, fast crash, nothing built. Your brain gets a small hit of completion every time you clear a notification. That hit is real, and it's exactly what keeps you locked into shallow mode for the rest of the morning. Consider what happens when you flip the order. Maria, an architect in São Paulo, restructured her mornings after burning out during a major project. She moved her design work, the creative, high-concentration part of her job, to the first 90 minutes of her day. Email and calls got pushed to 10 a.m. Her firm resisted at first. Clients expected quick replies. But within 2 months, her project output increased enough that the firm noticed she was producing cleaner designs with fewer revision cycles. The delay in email responses? Clients adjusted within a week. Most of them never mentioned it. The pattern shows up in research too. A study out of the University of Nottingham found that workers who engaged in creative tasks during their peak cognitive hours produced output rated significantly higher in quality than those who did the same tasks later. The tasks were identical. The timing changed the result. You might be thinking, my mornings are chaos. Kids, commutes, obligations that can't move. Fair. The first hour principle scales down. Even 15 minutes of intentional focus before the chaos begins creates a different trajectory. The key is that your brain's first sustained task sets a template. Whatever mode you activate first, reactive or creative, shallow or deep, tends to persist. Breaking out of that mode later costs energy you've already spent. Here's where it gets personal. Think about the mornings when you woke up and immediately felt behind. An email from your boss, a news headline that spiked your stress, a text from someone who needed something. You spent the rest of the day playing catch-up, and by evening you were exhausted without having moved your own priorities forward by an inch. That exhaustion has a specific origin point, the first hour. Now think about a morning, maybe rare, maybe recent, when you woke up and did something for yourself first. A workout, a page of writing, a walk, cooking breakfast without a screen in your hand. Remember how the rest of that day felt. Lighter, more yours. That sensation has a mechanical explanation. You spent your first cognitive budget on something that built momentum instead of something that drained it. Critics of morning routine culture make a valid point. Telling a single parent working 2 jobs to just wake up earlier and journal is tone deaf. Structural constraints are real, and pretending that a 5 a.m. routine solves systemic problems is dishonest. The first hour principle adapts to your actual life. If your morning starts at 4:30 with a baby crying, your first hour of cognitive freedom might be at 9 p.m. after the house is quiet. The biology still applies. Whatever your first period of uninterrupted mental space looks like, that's the window. Protect it with the same ferocity you protect your paycheck because it's producing something just as valuable. The practical shift is smaller than you think. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to change one transition, the bridge between sleep and your first real task. Right now, that bridge is probably paved with notifications. Rip them out. Replace the bridge with something you chose on purpose. A physical action works best. Movement, writing, building. Something that requires your hands and your focus. With your phone in a drawer. The resistance you'll feel is real. The first morning without your phone in hand will feel like missing a limb. That discomfort is information. It tells you how deep the dependency goes. Sit with it. By day 4, the discomfort fades. By day 10, you'll feel the difference in your afternoons. The fog lifts earlier. The energy lasts longer. The work you produce in the morning carries a different quality, a density that wasn't there before. One shift creates a cascade. Your first focused task generates momentum. Momentum reduces the friction of the next task. Lower friction means fewer willpower withdrawals. Fewer withdrawals mean you arrive at afternoon with reserves. Reserves mean you handle the 2 p.m. slump without collapsing into distraction. And that evening, when you look back at what you built, you feel something most people only feel on their best days. The quiet satisfaction of a day that was actually yours. You've been giving away the most valuable 60 minutes of your day to whoever built the app on your lock screen. Tomorrow morning, take them back. Put the phone in a drawer. Do the one thing that matters most to you before you do anything for anyone else. 60 minutes. That's the wager. And the person who shows up at noon will feel like someone you haven't met in a long time.